1. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the P1 Broadcasting Channel. You've got Murph. You've got Caleb Brashear. It's the Bash Brothers. We're back one more time for the AMA Archway Industrial Coatings Truck Series live from the Nashville Superspeedway. Caleb, last night we were treated to a dandy of a race. Greg Evans won in what was a remarkably yellow-free affair. Only one caution other than the stage breaks blemished the last race. And tonight, can we expect more of the same?
Well, based on how the past races here in the Truck Series have gone, it's really going to be a 50-50 split on whether or not it's going to be caution-free or if it's going to be a wreckfest, we'll say, a bit chaotic, we'll say. Last year's race had 14 cautions, but the year before had 0. So it's going to be a complete toss-up in how this race is going to go. A lot of the same drivers we saw in last night's race are also racing here tonight. Last night's race, of course, only had one caution that immediately came after, or right after the beginning of stage number 3. So realistically, a relatively clean race we saw from many of these drivers last night. Hopefully, we can get the same here tonight.
Absolutely. Last night, of course, dominated by Greg Evans. He won pulling away from the field. Tonight, Greg is not here, and we've got a lot, and I mean a lot of drivers that are different from last evening. The track, though, Caleb, you were saying drives a lot differently than it did last night.
Yes, it does. In my little bit of testing here, the truck here, it handles a little bit better in the Grand National car as is usual, but it actually, what's different to what we've seen in the Truck Series, where the truck likes to be loose at these intermediate types of tracks, it actually feels like it understeers throughout the majority of these corners here. However, it still is, you're still carrying much more speed on both ends of the raceway here, about 10 miles an hour more than the Grand National cars, but you do have a lot less horsepower, so you're not even getting up to 170 miles an hour around here, whereas the Grand National car, we're just getting past 175 on both ends of this straightaway if you got a really good run. So it's completely different to what we saw last night, and it's going to handle a lot closer to a stereotypical mile and a half than it will to what we described as basically a banked Milwaukee-style track with the Grand National Series.
Well, and what you just described results, Caleb, in a lap time here that's actually faster for the Truck Series than it is on the Grand National side. The track record for the trucks is held by Corey Heim, 30.240. That's nearly a half a second better than the Grand National cars, and that's simply because these trucks are carrying in some areas and some places 20 miles an hour of extra speed through the middle of the corner.
Yes, it is indeed. And if you actually look at the AMA records, the fastest race lap here, 29.9 by Jared Duda last year in last year's event. So that's nearly a half a second quicker there as well in comparison to the race lap record for the AMA and the Grand National Series. So these trucks are able to carry so much more speed in these corners here, and that's really going to make things a lot tighter, a lot closer racing here, which could lead to, as what we said with what we saw in last year's 2025 race, maybe a little bit more chaos, but a lot of the same drivers, like we said, are also racing that were here last night are racing here tonight as well, and they know how to race Nashville pretty cleanly based on what we saw last night.
They do. Now, there are some interlocutors, some guys who are invading from the open wheel side. They were not here last night. They're here tonight, and they are fast. This is Matt Wagner's home track. He is second on the speed charts, and he's brought along one of the old pros from the open wheel side, Chris Stouffer, along in third. They are racing this together. Wagner and Stouffer, look for them to potentially throw a little monkey wrench in the stock car parade. Those two very fast in practice. Ryan O'Donohue, the top of the speed chart. Sam Crow fourth, and Cole McElwain rounds out the top 5 in practice. Matt Sisler is here. He has not taken a lap. Everybody who is in the top 5 in points is present this evening, as is Paul Witt, Sam Crow. Julian Valadez is not here. He is 9th in points. James Hodgson, the forward-facing 88, is here. He is not currently logged in the session, but he needs to get over here, my friend. He's only got a little bit less than 3 minutes, 3 minutes and 45 seconds.
Yeah, they're actually going to do their driver's meeting right now, so he actually has basically zero time to practice. His qualifying will be his practice, basically. Basically, go out there, set the fastest 2 laps you can, and then stay out there. That way you could get an idea of how this track runs. Unfortunately, he won't have any dirty air running, which is something that we possibly will also see here tonight that we didn't mention. Some dirty air. It was prevalent in last night's race. It should be here. Very prevalent, actually more prevalent here in the truck series, based on how the speeds they're actually able to carry in the corner, and how they're about 10 to 15 miles an hour faster through the middle of the corner. That should affect dirty air just a little bit more than what we saw last night.
It should. Here's the other thing. Here's the other thing that I'm going to be watching. Not just qualifying for James Hodgson, John Houchins, Ted Craven, Donald Green, Matt Sisler, some of these guys that didn't get much practice. It's going to be too is tires. Last night we saw a major fall off on the tires. We saw guys, David Dunwoody's a great example of guys saving tires, saving sets of tires, intentionally tanking one stage to pull a strategy move in the next. I wonder if we might see some of those same things tonight, or if the added downforce, the added drag, and the lower top end speed from these trucks means that the tires don't wear out and don't really mean as much. So that's going to be the storyline for me. The other bit is Greg Evans is not here. And so, the man that is very, very tough, he's the king of the AMA. He's won more races than just about anybody else, at least of recent. He's not here. And so that's going to give a chance to Ryan O'Donohue, Sam Crow, some of these guys that are up near the front, Austin Hund, Kendall Paul, some of these other guys at the top of the point table. It's going to give them a chance to run well. And I can't help but look at Matt Wagner and Chris Stouffer. Those two want to run really well tonight.
Yes, they do indeed. And Matt Wagner, he's been running very, very strong in the truck series ever recently, but hasn't been able to capitalize recently. And Chris Stouffer, he made his AMA debut last week in Charlotte, and he was actually running inside the top 5. Unfortunately, he had I believe his screen disconnected, if I remember correctly, about only 18, 19 laps in, and he actually hit the inside wall, the inside attenuator, very, very hard. But he was running very, very strong last week in Charlotte. He's currently 3rd on the board in practice at 30.806. It should be we have some IndyCar or open wheel guys here that are showing very good pace here.
Yeah, and that's the thing is, Chris Stouffer, the mechanical failure last week. We don't have blown engines in sim racing, but what we do have, with this bespoke equipment that we use, I say it all the time, all these rigs, all these setups are one of one. There's not any two in the world that are alike. And, well, Caleb, sometimes things break. They come disconnected. We experience that all the time on our team with guys that run in VR. They have all sorts of issues with their VR headsets. And so, for me, that's part of the game. But Chris Stouffer, he looks as though he's got everything plugged back in and ready to go. And right now, he's going to end practice 4th quick, and that's going to bring us to qualifying, Caleb, and the run for the SimShop Pole Award. You can visit them, www.simshop.com. Just keep driving, simshop.com, as we get ready to head into the qualifying session. 2 laps, Caleb. Which lap do you anticipate being the faster of the two? Same as last night, 2nd lap?
Well, it's a bit different because last night it handled a lot similar to a short track type of pace Tonight, it's a lot closer to a mile and a half, and usually at the mile and a half, it's not too often, or it's not uncommon that we actually see the first lap be the fastest. So I really don't know here, Murphy. It could be a 50-50 split.
It could be. We're going to put up Owen Simkovic as he goes out for his first lap, the number 86 Ford F-150 out on the course, and he's already, Caleb, going pretty high. It looks like he's going to make his hot lap attempt on the first one. We'll jump into his eyeballs. There he goes down the front straightaway, 165, 6, 700, about 170 miles an hour. We were seeing the Grand National cars haul off last night a hot 10 to 15 miles an hour faster than that, and that's owing to a little bit less power on these trucks and a lot more drag.
Yeah, but that means they are able to corner so much more faster. You see Owen, he rides around the second lane, and again, it's the same as last night and what we saw, the optimal line. You want to try to wrap that yellow line on the bottom here at Nashville Superspeedway. That is the fastest line. We'll see if he does that. Kind of rides half a lane up on his second lap as well, going through 1 and 2. It looks like he's just trying to carry as much speed as possible. He's about 2 lanes off the wall, kind of IndyCar style here, Murph, where you kind of, you don't go all the way out to the wall. You kind of wrap the middle to try to just take the shortest line around this track. We'll see what this second lap time is. Goes to the apron.
Second lap, 31.231. That's going to put him 7th quick. We'll go back and look at John Houchins. This is his second lap. For Owen Simkovic, interesting to note, he had a ton, and I mean a ton of wheel in that truck, much more than we saw last night. Look at John Houchins. He's not turning the wheel near as hard, using more of the right rear to drive that truck. John Houchins maybe only going halfway as much on the steering input as Owen Simkovic did. And I'd look for this lap for John Houchins to be a lot quicker. Here he is off of turn number 4 down the front straightaway. He's going to cut the dog leg. John Houchins goes to 8th quick, and he is indeed quicker than Owen Simkovic. I can't say his name, and I apologize to Owen. I can't say his name for the life of me today. Caleb, let's have a look at Sam Crow in the 8. Here he is, cured by cookies. I think that's something we could all agree with, that cookies can cure just about anything, Caleb.
I kind of agree. Maybe that, you know what? I have an idea for later. I think everybody here knows that if you watch here, you know what I'm probably going to ask later on in the night. But we'll continue to watch Sam Crow getting very, very close to that wall. Sam Crow actually getting pole position in the Grand National race last night. Kind of a shock to all of us here in the AMA. I put it on the stellar lap, get very sideways off turn number 4, cuts it to the apron.
He did save it.
Not able to replicate it.
He saved it, but Sam Crow with that bobble, 13th on the speed chart. How about say hey Lewis Hayes? Here he comes in the Robert Turnbull special out of Spartanburg, South Carolina. Down into turn number 1 he goes. Say hey Lewis Hayes, 19th fast on his first lap, 31.042. We'll see if Hayes can't make his second lap a little bit better. Down into turns 3 and 4 he goes. He gets a lot lower than we saw Owen Simkovic get. And there he is. Say hey Lewis Hayes across the line. 30.950, 18th fastest for Say hey Lewis Hayes. Last truck on the track is Randy Dunlap in the number 38 Blackmagic Studios Outland Custom Arms on that truck, and that has a lot of chrome on it, Caleb. I like the looks of that baby.
Very similar to what both you and me run in the Votive League. He's only going to do his first lap here. He's going to actually stop on the second one here. He's able to do a 30.832. That's going to put him 16th overall in Q, just behind Sam Crow. So he's going to be a one and done here to wrap up qualifying.
I don't think he had time to get back, Caleb. There was only about 10 seconds left in the session, so he just decided to go ahead and pull it over and shut it off, and that's going to lead us to the starting grid. The lights are coming on, Caleb. You know what that means, my friend. It is going to start getting faster as we head toward a green flag. On the pole, Ryan O'Donoghue with a lap at 152.896. Mike Rigney to the outside of the front row. That is as fast as we have seen Mike run. He'll start from the outside pole. Cole McElwain, Shane Fleming, row 2. Austin Hunn, Logan Edwards, the old narc brain. He's still alive in this championship fight. Caleb, he's gonna start 6th. Paul Witt, Chris Stouffer, Joseph Greathouse, and Kendall Paul are going to round out your top 10. In 11th, John Houchins, David Dunwoody will roll from 12th. Chuck Sweeting, 13th. James Hodgson, 14th. Sam Crow is going to go from 15th. He'll start next to Randy Dunlap in 16th. That is the 8th row. Row 9, Jim Duda, Jeffrey Goodpaster. And row 10 features Say Hey Lewis Hayes and Donald Green. Starting 21st, it's Ted Craven, the Teddy Bear. Andrew Gates, 22nd. Owen Simkovic, 23rd. Jeremy Dunwoody, 24th. Matt Wagner, not able to back up his practice time. He'll start 25th. And from the back, Matt Sizzler and Sean Roberts do not set a time. 27 trucks signed in for tonight's action, Caleb. And this is looking to be a dandy.
It is indeed, but as things change, some things stay the same. Ryan O'Donoghue claiming another pole position as we often see here in the AMA. That's actually his 12th in the Truck Series all time. So we'll see if he's able to stay out front there. He was the pole sitter last week at Charlotte, but in the Grand National race, but unfortunately hit the wall hard.
Yeah,
coming off turn number 4.
Yeah, so he didn't make it back around in that one.
Yeah, he didn't make it back around. He didn't make it back around, but hopefully he's able to turn that around here tonight and have a better result.
We do certainly hope so. Do want to thank everybody for tuning it in. If you haven't already done it, make sure you hit the like button on the video, ring the bell, subscribe to the channel so that you can get in on all of the iRacing fun. We're going to talk a little bit more about one of the special events coming up on P1 here in a couple of weeks. But for right now, we're focused in Ryan O'Donoghue, Mike Rigney, Colin McElwain, Shane Fleming, Austin Hunn, and the old narc brain, Logan Edwards, are going to lead them away. Green flag is out. Barney has it in hand. Trucks approach the restart zone. That's the green paint on the outside wall. It's also marked on the apron. And to the green flag we go. We're on 150 laps at Nashville.
Ryan O'Donoghue gets out to a decent jump. Not as big as what we saw last night from Greg Evans in the Grand National race, but he's able to immediately get into first place. Mike Rigney, Cole Elwing going to go side by side. They are side by side, basically second on back there. I thought they were going to go 3 wide with Austin Hunn looking up the inside of McElwain. Not able to thinks better of it and just holds back. And we got a spinner and 3 and 4. Right, we got a wreck.
Caution is out.
Sam Crow.
Caution is out.
Big mess. Sam Crow is around. Others involved. I see the 51 of Donald Green around. But I believe that all started with Sam Crow. And there he is. Heavy damage to the right front of that number 8 machine. And let's see how all this started. It is a parking lot over there in turn number 4. And it did not start with Sam. It actually starts with the 47 truck. That would be Chris Stouffer. And Stouffer saves it, but everybody else behind them, big pile up. One more time as Jarrett Corey checks in the chat. Keep those chats coming, guys. You see him stack up. Sam Crow gets punted by Jim Duda due to the checkup. Around he goes. Donald Green plows in. Chuck Sweeting gets involved. Say Hey Lewis Hayes gets a piece of that. The 33 is Sean Roberts. The number 1 truck of Ted Craven spinning down there. Jeremy Dunwoody in the background. Matt Wagner misses everything. He just slides to a stop. Funnily enough here, Caleb, there are no meatballs, and we're going to watch this from the point of view of Matt Wagner and just watch the track close here. Owen Simkovic checks in the chat. He says he feels bad running in the back of Sean Roberts. I don't think you got a choice there. There was nowhere for anybody to go. Let's go have a look at it from Owen's point of view. Just watch the track close. There's not much you can do here. This is not like Bristol or Dover where the track clears itself. Roberts actually got in the back of Wagner, and then that's what caused him to check up into Owen Simkovic. But man, oh man, Simkovic actually does a pretty good job of getting everything slowed down. But man, oh man, that was a mess. One more, and let's do this from the roof cam on Sean Roberts. Here he goes. Down into turn number 3, sun's in your eyes. You really can't see all that well. The wreck starts, Caleb, and watch this. He doesn't quite get checked up in time. Slip, wham! He hits Wagner, and there he goes around off the nose of Simkovic. Nothing anybody could do in that situation. Just too much closing speed. And look, people say, well, why don't you just go around those wrecks? Why don't you just slow down? You can't, can you, Caleb?
No, you cannot. And just looking at the iRacing chat here, I think the true reason that crash happened is, these cars don't have headlights, according to Sean Roberts. That's the reason it all started. It's getting dark here, and they couldn't see it. So, a little bit of joking there, but that was a big one very early on, and a lot of the field has a lot of damage very early on in this race, and a lot of big contenders are already kind of suffering from early carnage here. So that will play effect in the standings and play effect to the end of this race here.
It will. Sam Crow back on pit lane. He's already a lap down, and that's big news. Sean Roberts, his run of bad luck continues. I don't think he's seen lap 10 under green flag action in the last couple of months. He's been snake bit. Green flag comes back out, so too say Lewis Hayes for that matter. Green flag is back out. We are once again under the green light here at Nashville. Ryan O'Donoghue reaches out to about a 5-truck length lead over Cole McElwain. Mike Rigney slots into third, and look at Austin Hund go on the bottom. Caleb, he's going to challenge Shane Fleming, and he's going to try to bring Paul Witt with him. And there's the old narc brain in the Team I5G truck. He's looking to pull past Paul Witt into 6th.
Yes, he is indeed. It seems like the high side, in comparison to last night, has a bit more momentum than what we saw in the Grand National race. It looks like you're able to keep a truck up there pretty well and able to make it sick, but that's what we see from Logan Edwards at the moment. He's on the outside of Paul Witt. Paul trying to make that bottom line work, but Logan's able to just keep the momentum on the high side and able to get really good runs. He has to check up a little bit to Shane Fleming. He's going to try to get a fender to his outside. Fleming closes the door. He's going to have to yield a little bit here and fall back into that 7th place position.
Yeah, Paul Witt got a good run on the bottom, pulled back up alongside Shane Fleming. And now Logan Edwards is going to go to the high side of Paul Witt. He'll complete that pass one more time. Is it a case where because these trucks are able to carry a little bit more speed in the center of the corner, Paul Witt, big loose, big wiggle in the middle of the corner there. Is this a case where perhaps the outside might be a bit of a better option here due to the additional speed they're carrying?
I think that's mainly the case scenario. That just, the more speed you're able to carry around here, and with the less horsepower, that just means less time you're off throttle here in Nashville Superspeedway for this truck series. So the less time you're able on throttle, the more speed you're able to carry on the high side, which makes it a more viable option to where last night's race acted more of a short track type of race, whereas this kind of acts like a lot closer to a cookie cutter mile and a half. So the outside lane is much more of a viable option if everybody's on a same number of old lap tires.
It is going to pull back up here to the front because Mike Rigney has made his way back around Cole McElwain, and Rigney is all over the back, and I mean all over the back of Ryan O'Donoghue. Things that we did not talk about at the beginning of the show. We didn't talk about the weather. It is nighttime out here, gang. We're looking at 77 in the air, 83 on the track, and that's going to continue to cool down. It'll make the track a lot more racy. We're going to have stage breaks at 45 and 95 for the 150 laps. And Caleb, you and I were talking about that. Unlike most of these races, there shouldn't be a stop in that final stage.
No, it shouldn't. The third stage is actually quite short in comparison to the rest of the Truck Series races we have. Usually, we were always questioning whether or not they can make it on fuel. Well, the third stage itself is only going to be 55 laps, and that's actually going to be a little bit shorter to the caution from the stage itself. So they can easily make it 55 laps on fuel. It's going to be a matter not of who is the best at saving tires at the end of it, because you really can't. You're not going to make up that much time if you do decide to stop for tires. So you really just got to learn how to and try to master the tire safe strategy for that third stage and make those tires last as long as possible.
You do. Going to get in the drone because we've got a big battle looming. That is Logan Edwards, the old narc brain. He's pulled to the inside of Paul Witt. He can't get that move done. And Chris Stouffer, after that earlier contact and half spin, Chris Stouffer's made his way back to the 8th spot. He's bringing the 48 of Joseph Greathouse along with the 78 of Kendall Paul with him. John Houchins just back there in 10th. But Chris Stouffer, the man on the move, although he's going to feel the challenge from Kendall Paul.
Yes, he is indeed. Stouffer trying to make that outside work. He falls back in line. Kendall Paul's going to have to just yield slightly. He's got Joseph Greathouse all over his rear bumper. It's kind of single file at the moment. Right behind them, David Dunwoody and John Houchins are going to go side by side. Dunwoody on the inside, not able to quite clear on the inside run. That's going to allow James Hodgson to go to the inside. But James Hodgson now on the inside of Houchins, not able to quite clear him, and Houchins able to get the run on the high side and clear. He's
doing good work right in front of them, the 28 at David Dunwoody. That truck pulled the only real alternate strategy last night. He short-pitted everybody. And he saved a set of tires. Basically, what Dunwoody did was he did not take a set at the end of the first stage and kind of gambled that he would be able, that there would be a late caution. He short-pitted. He got out in the lead and led the race very briefly, but then the tail of the tires told, and he went straight to the back, wound up a lap down. I wonder if we're going to see anybody do that tonight. I'm keeping an eye on the lap times. Caleb, we are 16 laps in. We've had 4 laps of caution, so we're approaching that 15-lap cliff on the tires. Right now, the lap times still within 3 to 4 tenths of the ultimate pace. And so they're falling off, but they're not falling off a huge amount.
No, they're not indeed there. And I briefly saw, I did want to chime in, David Dunway, I believe, used the bumper on Kendall Paul to get around him going through 3 and 4. Just a little bit of a bump and run, able to get the position there. Kendall Paul slots outside of the top 10 because of it. We'll see if he's able to make a comeback. Currently the championship leader, not running inside the top 10 early on in this race.
No, he's not. Kendall Paul is in that 11th spot. I'll tell you who's, as we look at Paul Witt and Logan Edwards go at it one more time. Edwards is trying everything he knows to get around Paul Witt. He hasn't been able to make it happen just quite yet. He's been persistent, though. To the outside he goes now, and I think he might be able to get Witt clear here. But Witt's got designs on going by Austin Hund. And the problem for Logan is I think it gets a piece of the wall there a little bit. I think that Austin Hund is slowing him up, and now Chris Stouffer gets by, is going to try to go by Witt as Edwards finally completes the pass. The other truck that I kind of wanted to highlight was Matt Sizzler. Sizzler in that three birdies Ram, he's second in points. He started this race in the back, Caleb, and he's moved from 26th starting spot all the way up to 13th. So he's past half the field here.
Yeah, we know Matt Sizzler has the talent to do that. A lot of that did have to do with the first lap caution and him able to avoid it and just able to gain a lot of spots through that method. But he's gained half the places. He gained 13 spots, currently in the 13th position. He's on the charge forward. The guy in second place in the championship really needs a good points result, and so far, both him and the championship leader, Kendall Paul, running just outside the top 10. This is kind of like an off night for them, kind of unexpected from these two early on in the race here.
Yeah, it is. We're continuing to watch. Paul Witt just tagged the back of Chris Stouffer as those two continue to race along, and that's going to let David Dunwoody pile to the inside of those two trucks, 3 wide into 3.
Ooh, it's getting really, really dicey. I was watching Greyhouse. He was shoving Stouffer the entirety of that backstretch forward. Stouffer able to break away, but Dunwoody, Paul Witt, and Joseph Greyhouse are still going at it, going into turns 1 and 2. Greyhouse on the high side, trying to make it stick. They're 2x2 for the battle of the 8th place position here. Greyhouse has the run. Just about clears it, but has to yield to the high side.
Yes, he does. Meanwhile, Kendall Paul is pulled to the outside of David Dunwoody. He'd like to make up a spot. John Houchins would also like to do the same, and lurking in the wings is Matt Sizzler. Let's jump on the roof cam of the Three Birdies Toyota. We'll have a look, or Three Birdies Ram, rather. We'll have a look at this battle from... I said roof cam. It put me in the car, so we'll have a look at it from the roll bar of Matt Sizzler. Gives you an idea of the banking here around the Nashville Superspeedway. Kind of lets you know what it looks like from the inside of one of these things. You're riding shotgun with the man running 13th. He's not going to be 13th for long, though. He goes by David Dunwoody, put Matt Sizzler to 12th. Maybe he's still on the outside of David Dunwoody. They get a little bit close coming off turn number 2. He's really close to that wall there, but he's able to get that position, slot himself into that 12th place spot, and now looks forward to John Hutchins in for the 11th place. Meanwhile, David Dunwoody ran his truck as far up as 9th. He's already dropped back to 13th. Sizzler goes through. Everything now is more or less starting, Caleb, to play to form, almost as it did last night. 25 laps down. The trucks have now fallen off 0.7 of a second in 25 laps. Ryan O'Donohue leads it from Mike Rigney. Shane Fleming third. Cole McElwain fourth. The old narc brain, Logan Edwards, is in fifth. Chris Stouffer runs along in a fine sixth. Austin Hund seventh. Joseph Greathouse eighth. There's your championship leader, Kendall Paul, in ninth as he looks to the inside of Greathouse. These trucks are a contact sport, Caleb.
They are indeed. Kendall Paul getting a little bit of argy-bargy from giving it to Joseph Greathouse. He's on the inside. Not able to clear him. Going to 3. Greathouse still on the outside. He's going to have the run on going down the front stretch here. But these guys getting very, very close together over the course of the last lap. Greathouse able to keep that high side momentum going. But Kendall Paul sends it really deep on the low side.
Kendall Paul will complete that move. He'll move into the 8th spot. Meanwhile, Logan Edwards has gone to the inside and dropped down below Cole McElwain. He's going to make a run for 4th here. Logan Edwards on the charge. Can't quite get there. He has to check up for Shane Fleming in 3rd, and that's going to allow the 95 on the high side of Cole McElwain to drive back around him. Edwards, though, keeps the right front quarter even with the left rear of McElwain. can't quite do it. Not enough momentum. Christopher pulls to the high side.
So if we're trying to follow the pack right now, Logan's kind of in no man's land, running that bottom. It seems like the high side momentum just is able to prevail over the low side. He slots right in front. Christopher gets a little bit of a bump going into 3 there. Now Logan Edwards is going to try to make the high side work on Cole McElwain, but he's going to have to concede to Austin Hunt on his inside.
Now, an interesting bit about Stouffer and Hunt, you can, as you look at those two trucks, similarly painted, same sponsor, they are not racing together. Austin Hunt runs for 40 Raceware on the NASCAR side, Christopher on the IndyCar side, and they are not working this race together. Austin Hunt is, I believe, and I need to go check it, but Austin Hunt is not in this Discord. Christopher is driving tonight with his buddy Matt Wagner, and so they are not running together, Caleb. So same sponsor, two different sides of the same team, two different sides of the coin, and they are not running this race together. Hunt gets through that mess, and he is now to the back of Cole McElwain. There he is, and that'll leave Shane Fleming to battle Kendall Paul, and Logan Edwards looking to make it 3 wide, Caleb.
Logan Edwards splits the middle between the two Fords on his inside and outside. He's got the edge over the car on the outside. He's got Kendall to the inside. Kendall sends it really deep on the bottom there. Logan drifts up, almost hits Shane Fleming on the high side, but he's able to clear him. Christopher also able to get position here, and now Joseph Greyhouse is looking to get around Shane Fleming, and he does. Shane Fleming down quite a bit of positions just in this last lap here.
He is. Logan Edwards will prevail. He'll continue to hold the 6th spot. Meanwhile, Christopher under fire from Joseph Greathouse. And the question becomes, Caleb, Logan Edwards is a member of that same powerful Team I5G squad that you are. That stands for Indy 500 Group, for those of you who don't know. Those big teams have been known, Caleb, to have one of their other members spot their drivers in these races. I'm wondering if you guys have persuaded Pileski or Steele or one of those guys to come spot for Logan Edwards in one of these.
Not a shot. To be completely honest, both Steele and Pileski have probably much better things to do at the moment than to try a spot on a Truck Series race. Both those guys are both very, very busy right now. I actually, Pavelski is trying to close in on the house, so he's currently worked up all on that right at the moment. So
that is Logan,
a big. He also just kind of likes to run these races solo. He doesn't really like to have a spotter in his ear all the time. I tried it once, and he did not like it at all. So we never really kind of ever did that. The only time I will ever call out a spotter call is if he needs fuel mileage numbers, or it just to remind him he's on cold tires on a road course for the IndyCar. That's the only thing I will ever say to him if I ever do kind of watch him race. But other than that, he doesn't really like to have a spotter at all.
See, I'm kind of the opposite. I like to have somebody to talk to. Sam Crow back out on the track. You see him. He is 10 laps down. Is Sam Crow. He's got a fast truck. He's got it fixed. But that machine 10 laps down. Donald Green is 20 laps down. Green is back out on the course. Matt Sizzler continues to try to work his way forward. I was going to say I'm the opposite. I like to have somebody to talk to. And speaking of secret spotters, one of the big races that's upcoming, that's going to be coming back around. Of course, we're going to have the Votive IndyCar Series finale at Indianapolis, 3-way championship fight in that one between Kyle Klinwork, Anna Klimek, and myself. That'll be in a couple of Sundays. But they're his big race in that series every year in the Votive IndyCar Series, the Votive Indy Derby. I was the winner in the inaugural Derby, Caleb. You know who my spotter was?
No, I don't.
Accident! Matt Wagner, hard in the wall. Matt Sizzler is around. Caution is on the speedway. We'll hold that thought. big wreck on the front, takes out 2 contenders. Matt Wagner fast in practice. He's in the wall, and Matt Sizzler second in points around as well. And that is going to be, it won't be the end of the stage because it's not within 5 laps. So we will have a stage break, but we need to go back and look at this. Those 2 trucks get hooked up coming off the corner, Caleb, and into the wall they go. A tough break for Matt Wagner. Jarrett Corey, Matt on Matt violence. Donald Green gets into the back of Sizzler. Hard in the wall he goes. The right side of Matty Wagner's truck is cleaned completely off. We're going to go back. I think the best way to look at this one's going to be in the blimp, Caleb. Into turn 3, side by side. Crown Royal taupe soaps on the bottom for Matt Wagner. 3 birdies on the top for the Matt Sizzler machine. Off the corner, and I think Wagner might have thought he was clear and wasn't, Caleb.
I don't think he thought he was clear. I think it was just he got maybe possibly just understeered a little bit too much in the middle of the corner and just kind of came up into Sizzler. I don't think he intentionally tried to clear him. I think he just thought he was a lot further away from Sizzler in the wall than maybe he thought there. But this is interesting here, Murph. I am looking. There are quite a bit of drivers down pit road. Some of those that has to do with probably damage, but there are quite a few drivers coming down pit road.
Yes, they are. They're led by David Dunwoody, Randy Dunlap, Chuck Sweeting, Jeremy Dunwoody, Say Hey Lewis Hayes. Matt Wagner and Matt Sizzler, of course, are going to pit. So too is Sean Roberts. But this is a great spot to make your stop because essentially we're going to get a green-white stage and everybody else is going to pit, and these trucks are going to be leading the race when the green flag comes back out. You look at Matt Sizzler. That truck does not look too bad. He's going to be back out onto the racing surface. But for Matt Wagner, heavy damage to the right front of his number 17 Toyota. And poor Matt Wagner, he's going to need to sit there for a while. You can get about a minute of repair done here, Caleb, and Wagner may need all of that minute and then some. He's going to be happy. There's going to be a stage caution here where he can immediately come back in. Sam Crow, by the way, got one of his laps back, so he's back to 9 laps down, and then assuming everybody stays on the lead lap, he would get one more of those back at the stage break. Although Matt Wagner, I was going to say, Caleb, do you just elect to go the lap down here knowing you're going to get it right back, or do you do what you can to stay on the lead lap?
I think it's probably worth actually just trying to take the lucky dog and get your lap back at the end of the stage, because just try to get the damage as much repaired as quickly as possible, in my perspective. If you go back out there, try to stay on the lead lap, you possibly risking even more damage and just adding to the carnage. So I think if you're only going to go 1 lap down, then it's probably just worth just taking the lucky dog at the end of the stage, during the end of stage number 1.
Could be. Sam Crow likes that decision, though, because he's going to get another lap back at the end of the stage. He'll go to 8 back. Still a long way to go for Sam Crow. But wilder and crazier things have happened. The pace truck is going to peel off this time through. The admin box caution is going to go away. The green flag is going to come back out, and we will decide track racer stage break number 1. Ryan O'Donohue has the field under his command. He's going to streak away.
Green, green, green.
Green flag is back out, and racing resumes. We're going to have 5 laps to decide the winner of the stage. O'Donohue, Rigney, Hund, McElwain, and Edwards lead them away.
Yeah, Ryan O'Donohue getting out to a big lead. Mike Rigney and Austin Hund immediately going side by side off of turn number 2 onto the backstretch. Austin Hund sends it in deep on the bottom. Not able to quite clear. I think he initially had it in turn 3, but he's able to clear off of turn number 4. They're all single file from 1st through 6th at the moment. Meanwhile, side-by-side action. In the background, that is Joseph Grayhouse and Chris Stouffer going side-by-side. Chris Stouffer on the high side trying to make it work. Still side-by-side as they come off turn number 2.
They are up the front. Cole McElwain is going to drop to the inside of Mike Rigney. See if he can't claim that 3rd spot and bring Logan Edwards, Kendall Paul with him. You've got McElwain on the bottom, Edwards in the middle. Kendall Paul trying to figure out which line is going to move. Logan Edwards will choose high. He'll follow open wheel ace Mike Rigney down the front straightaway. You got IndyCar drivers on the top. You got stock car drivers on the bottom. We've got 3 laps to go in the stage, and David Dunwoody is saying, look, I need the stage break so I can get a clean pair of brown pants. Those are in the number 69 pit stall down there, David. We've got a whole box of them for you. Clean brown pants in my pit stall.
Ooh.
Logan Edwards clouts the wall.
Hard into the wall. That's the 2nd time he's done that this race. I don't see any damage. He might have gotten very lucky off that. Let me get a closer look. No damage from that, at least in terms of body. But he is going to lose a place here to Kendall Paul because of it.
Kendall Paul has gotten through Logan Edwards, and now he's going to look to the bottom of Cole McElwain. He's going to try to get to 4th in this stage. We've got 2 laps to go. Can Kendall Paul pull himself up to 4th? It wasn't too long ago we were talking about him being outside of the top 10, Caleb.
Yes, he was indeed. He started from 10th. He was outside the top 10 not too long ago, trying to get himself slotted securely in the top 5. He has Logan Edwards right behind him, trying to also get back inside the top 5 there. Logan really liking that high side run. They go to the line. Logan able to clear Kendall as they go into turn number 1. And the yellow flag is out. Logan able to get that top 5 position right at the line.
That is going to conclude Track Racer Stage Break number 1. Your winner is going to be Ryan O'Donohue. If you go to trackracer.com and you enter the web address just as it shows right here with that promo code at the end, 5% of your order will go to the season-ending AMA prize pool. That's trackracer.com. 5% will go to the AMA prize pool end of season. Ryan O'Donohue wins the stage, and this is where it's going to get fun. Randy Dunlap is the first car that stopped under that last caution. Those drivers have 8-lap tires on their cars. Do they stay out? Do they come back in? My guess is that they're going to come back in. We know that Matt Wagner is likely to do so because he's going to fix damage. So too say Hey Lewis Hayes and probably Sean Roberts, maybe Jim Duda. All of those trucks were on pit lane for extended repair under the last caution, and they left in the high 50-second range, and so it's probable that they've got more damage to fix. Sam Crow will be your lucky dog. He'll get back to 8 laps down as we get ready to head for pit road, Caleb.
All the trucks should be coming down pit lane now, whether or not for tires. If the guy stopped earlier, maybe at least top up on fuel. Ryan O'Donohue leads him. Austin Hunt in second. We'll see how they race off of pit road here.
We are going to have some drivers stay out, led by the aforementioned Randy Dunlap, as Ryan O'Donohue leads them down pit lane. Do want to thank everybody for joining in, tuning in to all of the fun. If you haven't already done it, make sure you hit the like button on the video, ring the bell, subscribe to the channel. We've got more of this coming up. I was just about to say, to answer the spotter question, Caleb, when I won the first Votive Indy Derby, Kendall Paul was on my pit box. There's one for you.
Look at that.
None of the other IR drivers wanted to do it. Seb Alexander was on a bit of a vacation, and so Kendall Paul stepped up. He called that race, and that was an interesting one. My qualifying time was disallowed because I was 2 seconds too late to the line, had to start in the back, passed 25 or so cars, and beat Craig Forsyth back for the win. But that was a fun day, Caleb.
I imagine so. So I'm looking off the race off pit road. Really, the positions, they pretty much came out just as they went in. Ryan O'Donohue first, Austin Hunt second off of pit lane, Mike Rigney third, Cole McElwain fourth, Logan Edwards fifth. Really no change of positions for the battle off pit road.
With one exception, and that is the front five did not stop. Randy Dunlap, David Dunwoody are going to be row 1. Sean Roberts, Jeremy Dunwoody, row 2. Ryan O'Donohue is going to line up next to the staying out machine of Chuck Sweeting. As you see the Dunwoody brothers, or you see Jeremy Dunwoody giving a little love tap to Randy Dunlap. Dunlap, of course, is the head of Outland Custom Arms, and he proudly sponsors the Grand National Series. He's getting a chance to lead a little bit in the truck today. But this is going to be an interesting. This is going to be interesting to see if those trucks that have those older tires, they've got 6 laps of green on them. Can they keep up? Because they are not yet to the point where they start falling off. They're going to get nice and cool here, Caleb. Can they hang on?
I guess we'll have to wait and see when we go green here. It is a slightly longer second stage too, so that's something to also keep in mind.
Yeah, it's going to be 55 laps under green. We're going to get lap 50. Second stage break at 95. Green flag out. Randy Dunlap leads them away. Jeremy Dunwoody did not get a good restart. Sean Roberts has fallen into the third spot as Randy Dunlap leads David Dunwoody away. Sean Roberts in third, and here comes Ryan O'Donohue on the high side. He's already fourth.
O'Donohue already up a couple positions. He looks to the inside of Sean Roberts going into turn number 3. They're side by side, also behind him. That's Austin Hunt and Jeremy Dunwoody. Dunwoody really up high. Logan Edwards going to also take that position. But Ryan O'Donohue now fighting for the second place spot. He's able to get around David Dunwoody. Well, maybe not. David Dunwoody sends it on the bottom, but finally O'Donohue clears him in the middle of 1 and 2. Now Dunwoody and Sean Roberts are going to go side by side off the corner. Roberts able to get the momentum on the high side. Dunwoody is going to have to yield to Chuck Sweeting, Austin Hunt, and the entire pack of the guys on fresh tires are coming right behind them.
Yeah, they are. And you saw Chuck Sweeting in that 75. He was wiggling all the way down the back because his rear wheels were not in contact with the racing surface. Austin Hunt had him jacked all the way up. And Austin Hunt has now moved into the 5th spot. Logan Edwards in the 6th. And they are now catching Chuck Sweeting and Sean Roberts for that 3rd and 4th spot. Ryan O'Donohue, interestingly enough, has not quite yet made it to Randy Dunlap. And so Dunlap has held the lead as they go 3 wide behind him. This is around the 12th spot. David Dunwoody gets split by Mike Rigney and Paul Witt. But we need to go back to the battle for the lead because Ryan O'Donohue has dropped under Randy Dunlap. And there he goes. Hey, give a call down to Randy Dunlap, though. We'll give the logos on that slick-looking paint job a little bit of love. Randy Dunlap in the 2nd spot. Well done.
We're 4 wide, Murph, off turn number 4. I hate to interrupt you, but this battle for the 12th place spot is really intensifying. They were briefly 4 wide coming off turn number 4.
They are. They get everybody back into some sort of reasonable order. You're watching Jim Duda battle the inside of Joseph Greathouse. A little bit of contact.
A little bit of contact. Greathouse trying to make that outside work. He's kind of been the same as Logan Edwards, trying to make the outside work. He looks like he's got the run, able to clear Jim Duda on the high side.
He is. Jim Duda will slide back into the 14th spot. Meanwhile, ahead of them, great battle going on between Kendall Paul Witt, Mike Rigney. Matt Sizzler has worked his way back into this fight after lengthy repair. Do want to point out Matt Wagner is the final car on lead lap. He was on pit road for another 58 seconds, and so that truck is not yet completely fixed, and he is running around about a half a second off of the leader. And so Wagner would love to have a yellow light come out so he can repair more of that damage as we watch Kendall Paul look to the inside of Paul Witt. Sizzler and Rigney side by side behind him. Joseph Greathouse slaps the wall off at 2.
Yeah, and I guess we also got to shout out Matt Sizzler, after being involved in the contact earlier with Matt Wagner, able to get himself just outside of the top 10. This is actually the best he's ran for majority of the night. Right in front of them, they're going to go 3 wide into turn number 1. Mike Ridney, Sean Roberts is in there. Kendall Paul also in that mix. Getting a little bit dicey as they go through turns 1 and 2. Matt Sizzler taps the wall. They kind of get sorted out, but they're going to go 3 wide at turn number 3.
Oh, boy, here we go. Greathouse to the bottom. Houchins in the middle. Sizzler to the top. 3 wide they go through turns 3 and 4. Are they going to make it? Matt Sizzler comes off the corner. Nobody touches. That is not easy to do. That is not that wide over there, Caleb. There's still 3 wide going into 1.
Yes, they are. Oh, they get a little bit of contact. Matt Sizzler pinching on the bottom there. That's John Hutchins in the middle. Joseph Greathouse trying to make it work. Jim Duda almost made it. He thought about making it 4 wide.
We're still 3 wide. Now we're going to be 3 wide again because Jim Duda is going to come on the bottom. Matt Sizzler has cleared that mess, but Jim Duda just about stuffed it 3 wide going down the bottom. I hate yelling at 59 of 150, but Caleb,
we got Hardy inside. Carl Hardy inside.
This is nuts.
Off the racing surface, Randy Dunlap hits the inside wall hard, but he's off the racing surface, so no caution.
He is. Christopher went down the pit lane, and here's that action. Randy Dunlap had finally started to fall back, and he just turned it loose coming off of coming down the tri-oval, spun the car out. He gets the black flag because he goes through pit lane hard into the wall. As you say, not on the racing surface, so no yellow. And what happened to Christopher? Because he just shot down pit lane. I wonder if he has got some sort of a mechanical issue as well again, because Stouffer just brought his truck to the pits, and that would be very much an unscheduled stop, and he's been there now for 30 seconds, and I don't see any in particular reason for him to have done that other than he's got some sort of either issue with his system or something in real life where he's got to go, Caleb.
Could be the case here. Back on board, the battle for basically the top 5 or the top 4 at the moment. Paul Witt, Cole McElwain, Logan Edwards, Kendall Paul have been side by side, 2 by 2 for the past couple of laps here. Logan Edwards has a run on the high side, but he has to check up. He's not able to get a run. Now Paul Witt finally goes to the bottom. That allows Logan Edwards to finally get around Cole McElwain. He's able to slot himself into the top 5 here, and now chases the back end of Paul Witt and Austin Hunn.
How about Paul Witt? Paul Witt was another one of those trucks that started, he started 7th, but he certainly started to pull forward. He had fallen out of the top 10 at one point, down to the 16th position. McElwain to the outside of Kendall Paul, just as Logan Edwards pulls the inside of Paul Witt going for 4th. Edwards...
Yeah, Logan trying to use the apron there. Not able to clear him, though, as they go into turn number 1.
I thought he was going to make that move, but he was not clear by about 2 feet. Paul Witt battles back on the outside. 2 by 2 they go down the front stretch, and the front 3 absolutely love this. Give a call to down to Chuck Sweeting. He is one of those trucks that did not stop. So he had stopped under the earlier caution. Did Chuck Sweeting, and he is now in 2nd, and he is running faster lap times than Ryan O'Donohue in the lead, and his tires are 8 laps older, Caleb, as we continue to watch the battle for 4th, because this is incredible. 2 by 2 by 2, 3 rows back, they go. These guys are not giving up. They're not giving an inch, Caleb. Kendall Paul awfully tight to Cole McElwain coming off the corner. He will cede that 6th spot. But Logan Edwards and Paul Witt side by side for about the 5th lap in a row. And finally, Witt is going to prevail here, Caleb.
He's going to prevail, but it looks like I thought Cole McElwain had a fender on Logan Edwards on the outside. He's actually going to give him a massive bump down the backstretch there. But Logan able to just keep a position in the top 5. But now they're all over the back end of Austin Hunt at the moment. Paul Witt giving him a shove going out of turn number 4.
All right,
and we got big crash behind them.
It's Cole McElwain around John Houchins and Shane Fleming, both with black flags. James Hodgson, rather. And Kendall Paul with a meatball as David Dunwoody slides through, and he's going to get a black flag for entering a closed pit. Oh, my goodness. What's going on here? Now Dunwoody and Kendall Paul going at each other. What in the world? McElwain and Kendall Paul battling here. McElwain makes a little bit of contact with the outside wall, and I think that he was anticipating Kendall was going to follow the yellow line. He doesn't. They get together. Into the wall they go. Houchins contact, Greathouse contact. And what in the world is going on with the 28? We'll see Dunwoody come through.
It looks like he just locked up the brakes trying to check up there.
Yeah, here he is, and there he goes. I think you're right. You can kind of see the rears quit spinning. He'll slide through. Huh. That is odd. That is odd. But Kendall Paul, that's costly for him. Meatball, black flag. John Houchins, same. Ryan O'Donohue continues to lead it, and that is big news in the championship fight, Caleb.
Well, basically, the top 2. Matt Silzer is still in the race, but he was in an incident earlier, but he's still inside the top 10 here. But our championship leader, Kendall Paul, and I did hear the engine blow when he did that, so Kendall Paul is going to not have a memorable night here, but the rest of his championship rivals, the guy in 4th leads this thing. The guy in 3rd, staying inside the top 5, and the guy that he's battling for the lead in the championship, Matt Sizzler, still inside the top 10 here.
Yes, they are, but big, but tough break for Kendall Paul. That's going to turn into a big break for Matt Wagner. He'll come back to the pit lane and get more repair under the admin box caution flag. We have not yet mentioned Archway Industrial Coatings. They are the sponsor of this whole deal after all. They are a St. Louis-based flooring company that have been getting the job done for years in that area. Their epoxy and urethane flooring solutions withstand the test of time, all while meeting the customer's installation schedules and budgets. They're committed to doing the highest quality work at the lowest possible cost every time. Whether you're looking for industrial, commercial, restaurant, retail flooring, or concrete repair at home, you found the perfect partner to get the job done now. Get ready to floor it with Archway. We've heard the report now from Matt Wagner. Chris Stouffer had damage, and so he has elected to retire his machine rather than continue to be rather than run around in the way if he's not running for points. No sense in causing somebody else a mess, and so he is retired. Randy Dunlap also has retired his machine. Houchins and Kendall Paul remain on the pit lane from that earlier contact. Cole McElwain, minute 3 of repair. Matt Wagner was on the pit lane again for the maximum amount of time. He has gone back out. Jeffrey Goodpaster, Jeremy Dunwoody, David Dunwoody are all exiting pit lane. We've had a stop from Say Lewis Hayes and a stop from Joseph Greathouse. Owen Simkovic is now 12th. And remember, we watched his qualifying run, and there's Owen. And just real quick, he started 23rd, running 12th. That's a pretty good day for Owen. And so congratulations to him on the fine run. Keep that up, and we're getting ready to head back to green flag action, Caleb.
Green, green, green.
Green flag is back out. Ryan O'Donohue gets out to a good lead. Chuck Sweet falls immediately right back behind him. Despite being on the older tires, he's able to make that thing work. Austin Hunn and Paul Witt are going to go side by side through turns 1 and 2. Now Austin Hunn trying to look up the inside Chuck Sweet as they go down the backstretch.
There they are, and Chuck Sweeting's still on those tires that are 8 laps older than the trucks that surround him. Paul Witt gets to the rear bumper. He thought about making it 3 wide momentarily, and that's going to allow Logan Edwards and Sean Roberts to pull into this fight as they go down the front straightaway. We've got 25 laps to go in the stage, and it looks like the start of this race down there, Caleb.
Yes, it does indeed. Logan Edwards are going to go 3 wide off the corner here. Logan Edwards, Sean Roberts, and Paul Witt going to go side by side. Sean Roberts backs out of it. Logan Edwards on the bottom. Paul Witt on the outside here. This is kind of an inverse of what we've seen the entirety of the race. And they're going to go 3 wide again off the corner. Sean Roberts reintroduces himself. Paul Witt able to clear, but that allows Matt Sizzler to make it 3 wide on the high side. Logan still in the middle. Sean Roberts still in the bottom. Matt Sizzler making that high side work. Not able to quite clear him. Sean Roberts backs out, and Logan Edwards is going to have to yield. Matt Sizzler able to get 2 spots there in turns 1 and 2.
JT Smeaton checks in. He says, "Go Logan Edwards." That's an old connection for you guys. Look at Logan go though. He's up to 6th. Sizzler 5th. Those guys, they need to race it smart now with Kendall Paul out, and with Kendall Paul out of this race more or less. He still sits on pit lane now, 6 laps down. With Kendall Paul gone and Ryan O'Donohue leading, those two need to play it smart, keep everything moving in the right direction so that they can score at least top 10, if not top 5 finishes. Logan Edwards looks to the high side of Sizzler and almost immediately nearly gets pounced on by Shane Fleming. Meanwhile, Sean Roberts is doing battle with Jim Duda, Joseph Greathouse, and Mike Rigney.
It's 2 by 2 as they go through turns 1 and 2. Sean Roberts dropped a little bit back from this lead pack. He was racy early on the restart with the colder tires, but he's falling back in the middle of the field right now. Jim Duda able to get around him. Joseph Greathouse trying to get around him on the high side of 3 and 4. Right behind them of Sean Roberts, Mike Rigney also trying to get around. He's kind of fallen in place, though, at the moment. But Joseph Greathouse able to get around Sean Roberts. That truck is falling backwards here at the moment here, Murph.
They did. Chris Stouffer I sent me a text message alluding to some contact that may have put him out. We did not catch it on the broadcast, but Stouffer has an axe to grind with somebody. Meanwhile, Greathouse drops the inside of Jim Duda, and there are battles all over this track. Paul Witt to the outside of Austin Hund, and Chuck Sweeting. How about Chuck Sweeting? He continues to run second on tires that are much older than the trucks around him, and by now they've equalized, Caleb. So he's done the thing. He's used a caution, a short pit stop. He's flopped the track position, and Chuck Sweeting rides along in second while Ryan O'Donohue leads it with 76 of 150 down in Nashville. We're just past halfway. We do thank everybody for joining in the fun. If you haven't already done it, make sure you hit the like button on the video, ring the bell, subscribe to the channel so that you can get on all of the iRacing fun. 77 of 150 is working here in Nashville in the AMA Archway Industrial Coatings Truck Series. We're watching a battle for third and fourth. Paul Witt to the bottom, Austin Hunt to the bottom, Paul Witt to the top. They touch coming off of turn 4, Caleb.
Yeah, side by side down the front stretch. That just allows the rest of the pack to catch up really deep there from Paul Witt on the high side. He's trying to make that work. Meanwhile, right behind them, a big contact between Shane Fleming and Joseph Greathouse as they go through turns 1 and 2. They're still bumping going down the backstretch here. Those two are going to have to work it out here. Meanwhile, Matt Sizzler is now going to go side by side with Austin Hunn. Paul Witt able to get around on the high side, able to slot himself into the 3rd place position. Now Matt Sizzler able to get around, and is Logan Edwards going to try to follow through 1 and 2 here?
He just may do it. Matt Sisler to the outside of Austin Hunt. Logan Edwards is looking up there too. The outside line has really started to come in the later these runs go. The old narc brain will go through, and he'll pull it to the outside of Sisler, maybe going through turns 3 and 4. But Sisler's not done. He's going to look to the inside of Paul Witt.
Sisler looking racy here late in the stage 2. Up the inside of Paul Witt, Logan Edwards trying to look for a way around both of them. Kind of right in that middle. It looked like they're going to go 3 wide briefly there, but Matt Sisler able to hold that middle lane there. Still on his outside, Paul Witt. Logan dives to the bottom right behind him. Joseph Grayhouse and Austin Hunt are going to go side by side. David Dunwoody, where did he come from? He's inside the top 10 here, and now he's looking for a battle in the top 5.
My guess is David Dunwoody came in and strapped on new tires under that last caution. Well, it's not my guess. That would be what he did. He's got much fresher rubber than everybody around him. He's sliding those new tires, but he is coming toward the front, my man. He is 8th, and now Dunwoody is in this mix. Paul Witt is 3rd. So 3rd and 4th, 5th and 6th, 7th and 8th, 2 by 2 by 2. It looks like they're getting on Noah's Ark, Caleb, as they come down to get 14 laps to go in the stage. This is anybody's race, and Dunwoody might have the fastest truck out of everybody. If he can get through this mess, he gets to the bottom of Greathouse. He'll run Greathouse up the hill, 3 wide off of 2. Everybody saves it. Here comes Dunwoody on the bottom. He's 6th and looking on Edwards for 5th.
He's looking on Edwards. Has a fender there on the inside. Logan on the high side, able to keep the momentum of Dunwoody. Just with the fresher tires. Oh, they go 3 wide off the quarter. Dunwoody to the apron. Logan to the middle. Paul Witt to the outside. David Dunwoody able to get 2 positions there with the fresher tires. Now he looks on the back of Matt Sisler as they go through 1 and 2. Logan Edwards able to finally get around Paul Witt. He slots himself back into the 5th place position.
I'm going to get to use one of my favorite lines out of the great NASCAR documentary, Stroker Ace. David Dunwoody passing cars in wholesale fashion down the front straightaway. He gets by Matt Sisler. He went from
we got contact in the background.
All right, man. Caution
It's
is
Jim
out.
Duda.
Number 4.
It's Jim Duda. Joseph Greathouse also involved. Caution is back out, 84 of 150 complete. And this is right in that range of whether or not, Caleb, they end the stage. There you see Matt Wagner, the right front on that truck, still crinkled from his earlier contact. Meatballs for Jim Duda and Joseph Greathouse. And this is all going to start with contact between the 90 and the 48. Joseph Greathouse is going to get sideways. Jim Duda trying to stay off of him gets clouded by Sean Roberts, who's trying to stay off of him. Hard contact for both of those two. And unfortunately, caution right back out here at Nashville. And now, what do you do?
Well, we already see some takers here. Chuck Sweeting being one of them. He's going to come down pit road, as well as Mike Rigney and Jeffrey Goodpacer. Although with Jeffrey, that could be just to get some damage repaired there.
It might. Looking at this incident one more time from the onboard of Jim Duda, and just nowhere for him to go. Pounds the outside retaining wall and into the pit lane. He'll come. Ryan O'Donohue does not pit. David Dunwoody does not pit. Sisler, Edwards, Witt, Hun, Fleming, Roberts. Andrew Gates is now 9th, and James Hodgson is 10th. Hodgson on that same strategy as David Dunwoody. Jeremy Dunwoody 11th, same strategy. Ted Craven and O.M. Simkovic 13th. They have all stayed out. Chuck Sweeting, say hey Lewis Hayes on the pit lane for fresh tires. Mike Rigney has retired his truck. Cole McElwain, Jim Duda, Jeffrey Goodpacer, and Matt Wagner all under repair. Joseph Greathouse has retired his machine. And how about old Sam Crow? He is back to 6 laps down.
For that, Only rise you say that, Murph. Matt Sizzler in the iRacing chat says six to go, Sam. But he's able to get most of those laps back, being the lucky dog. Unfortunately, Joseph Greyhouse.
Well, and Jim Duda still sits on pit lane. Duda may not be able to get back out and make it back to 1 lap down, and so that would mean Sam Crow would be 5 down if this continues to hold. Sam Crow would be the lucky dog the next time, Caleb, and so Sam Crow's got a chance. He's made up 4 laps. Now you think about that. He's made up 4 laps. He's got a chance to make up a 5th here in just a couple of laps time. I don't want to say we're going to have 5 more cautions, but wouldn't that be something wild if Sam Crow somehow makes it back to the lead lap?
It would indeed. It's a little, I think the furthest we've ever seen a driver compete for, the top 5 here in the AMA was two laps down, and that was at a Superspeedway. So if he's able to make up 5 laps due to the amount of cautions here, that'd be incredible for Sam Crow there.
Green flag, green flag.
Green flag is back out. Ryan O'Donohue shoots out to the lead. Matt Sizzler did not get the greatest start there. Logan Edwards has the high side on him, able to get the position. Well, Matt Sizzler has a momentum on the bottom there. Those guys are going to go side by side for the battle of 3rd place. Logan Edwards getting a bump from Austin Hunt on the high side, giving a little bit of a shove going into turn number 3.
Critically for David Dunwoody, he's escaped these two as they fight over 3rd, and David Dunwoody is moving in for the kill on Ryan O'Donohue. The fresh tires on that 28 truck are going to give us a battle for the lead here before too much longer. Dunwoody fades to the outside. He's going to try to drive around the 14. Ryan O'Donohue has led almost all of this race. David Dunwoody trying to win the 2nd stage. It is the Blackmagic Studios 2nd stage. He is the proprietor of Blackmagic Studios, and there he goes, the high side. David Dunwoody to the lead.
Well, there's a quote from IndyCar, just like Scheckter, and that's what he did on the fresher set of tires, able to make the outside line work on Ryan O'Donohue with only a handful of laps to go in stage number 2. Meanwhile, while that's happened, Logan Edwards was able to secure the 3rd place spot, and Matt Sizzler has actually lost 2 positions because of it, and now has Shane Fleming to his outside here, he's outside of the top 5 here. Shane Fleming looks around the outside, but not able to get quite alongside of Matt Sizzler.
If there was a sheet of paper between the 29, the 8, the 93, and the 90 when Matt Sizzler got back in the line, I didn't see it. He was clear, but maybe by millimeters on either end. He does get back in line. Meanwhile, Owen Simkovic has reported that his brake pedal has gone to the southward, and he's not able to continue. He's gone to the pit lane. He's had an equipment failure of all things, and so Owen no longer able to continue here. Meanwhile, Sam Crow just went past Jim Duda and Mike Rigney, move him to 19th, and with Owen Simkovic in the pit lane, I believe that means that Sam Crow here is going to get that lap back, Caleb. Remember, stage at 95, not 90.
It would mean that indeed. Meanwhile, Logan Edwards, he has Austin Hunt. Austin trying to get back inside the top 3 here. Sends it deep on the inside through 1 and 2. Able to get that 3rd place spot back.
He overran the corner. Not so fast, my friend. Here comes Logan Edwards back to the bottom.
Logan has the bottom momentum, but Austin Hunt able to just use that outside lane to carry as much speed as possible. But Logan's still there, battling for the 3rd place position as they go down the front stretch. A little bit further back there, it's a load of chaos right behind them, about 10 car lengths behind them as they go into turn number 1. But there's battles all over the racetrack in the closing stages of stage number 2.
Yes, they are. They are battling hard behind them. Matt Sisler and Paul Witt continue to go after it. They've got the 90 of Shane Fleming, the 43 of Say Hey Lewis Hayes is in that battle. The forward-facing 88 of James Hodgson, the 33 of Sean Roberts is there. You've got Donald Green and Jeremy Dunwoody involved. But the man of the hour, the first guy to break up the Ryan O'Donoghue Express, David Dunwoody, and he has pulled away from Ryan O'Donoghue. Now nearly a second advantage for Dunwoody as he works through turns 3 and 4, trying to win his own stage, Caleb.
Trying to win his own stage indeed. It's a bit of a strategy call that he did, and it looks like it's going to pay off for him. He's only got one more lap to go to secure the stage 2 win. Ryan O'Donoghue is actually, I believe he's actually dropped back. He is slower than second and third here. I think it's a little bit too far back at the moment for Austin Hunt or Logan Edwards to try to make a move here with 1 to go. But Ryan O'Donoghue was about 2/10 slower last time around. Last time around, both Austin Hunt and Logan Edwards were able to go faster. And Say Hey Lewis Hayes, he's in the 5th place position as they come across the line.
Yeah, fine run for Say Hey Lewis Hayes. He got some tires under that last stop. Barney will throw the admin box yellow flag for stage break number 2. And this man, David Dunwoody, will claim his own stage. Blackmagic Studios is a small operation dedicated to high quality iRacing paints and wraps for any car. You can visit them on Discord or Facebook for your next high quality iRacing paint. I can personally vouch for those paints. When you see me running on P1, it is behind the wheel of a Blackmagic Studios designed machine. Longtime friend, that guy. I'm glad to see him get a stage win. I've raced with him for a very long time, Caleb. So it's good to see him run. Good to see him run good. I'll bet he's pretty happy camper that strategy worked out. He's going to get to come get 4 tires, and he should line up on the front row for the winner take all final stage. That's going to be about 50 laps here by the time it's all said and done. Sam Crow, he'll be the lucky dog. He'll get back to 5 laps down, and I bet Matt Wagner is happy to see that yellow too. He can come get some more work done on that number 17 machine. He's stayed on the lead lap the whole time, Caleb, but he's back in 16th spot. If he can get some more work done on that machine, he might have a chance. He was fast in practice. He might have a chance to make some noise at the end of this thing.
He might indeed, but he's still got a hefty bit of damage there. Probably still another couple minutes at least. All of pit lane, except for Say Hey Lewis Hayes, I believe he's on a different tire strategy than the rest of everybody, as well as I believe Donald Green and Sam Crow are all going to stay out. Meanwhile, everybody else comes down pit lane, including David Dunwoody.
Yeah, they're all going to come down pit lane this time. I don't think there's any advantage to staying out, although Say Hey Lewis Hayes is going to stay out here. Maybe he kind of feels it's not yet time to spend that 3rd set of Goodyear tires. Dunwoody out of his pit box. Chuck Sweeting going to beat him off a pit lane. So is Austin Hund. It's going to be Sweeting, O'Donoghue, Hund, and Dunwoody, Logan Edwards, Matt Sisler, and Paul Witt off of the pit lane. But Say Hey Lewis Hayes makes the call to stay out. He is going to be your leader when we get the green flag to start stage number 3.
I was looking at pit lane. It does appear that Chuck Sweeting only took fuel only. I did not see either side of the truck go up in the pit stall. So Chuck Sweeting, he did pit late in stage number 2, and he's shown that he's able to make a slightly more worn set of tires last very, very long in a good portion of green flag running. So a bit of a strategy call for Chuck Sweeting to take tires at the end of stage number 2 and just kind of, get to the end of this thing and see how long he can make these tires last.
Well, I think he's banking, Caleb, on the fact that, one, he just put a set on not too long ago. The other bit is he's banking on there being another yellow at some point. So is Say Hey Lewis Hayes, where they can come back in, grab 4 tires, and they would have the only tires available in the field. We've only got 15 trucks on the lead lap now. Matt Wagner and Cole McElwain have decided to stay on pit lane for extended repair. And so they've gone a lap down now. Wagner's been fighting ever since the beginning of this race to repair that truck. He's been on pit lane multiple times. He's coming back out now, 1:53, and maybe he's finally got that truck fixed. He is in position to perhaps be the lucky dog here if need be. But Matt Wagner is back out on the course. Hey, Lewis Hayes has the lead. Chuck Sweeting is second. And they're going to have a pack of guys behind him with the fresh rubber. Off comes the pace truck. Hey, Lewis Hayes will lead him away. Barney's going to throw the green back in the air. We'll have 51 to go at Nashville.
Green.
Green flag is out. Lewis Hayes gets a little bit of a jump over his teammate Ryan O'Donoghue. O'Donoghue on the inside, Sweetie, but Sweetie able to make those older tires work on the high side. He has a momentum to carry the speed on the outside. And we got David Dunwoody loose off of turn number 2. He's in the infield. No caution is out. He's off the racing surface. David Dunwoody around in the infield. Meanwhile, they all go single file through 3 and 4.
Yeah, David Dunwoody just got the truck loose on cold tires. He was on the bottom, had it pinched down hard, and that's the classic. That's what happens on cold tires, Caleb. He's down on the bottom. He's trying to stay off of Logan Edwards, and around she goes. For Dunwoody, he doesn't hit anything, so that's the good news. He slides through the grass, so he doesn't hurt the tires. He doesn't hurt the tires by having them locked up like that. But my goodness, what a costly situation for David Dunwoody. Having run so well and put himself in the top 5, he's going to be all the way at the end of the lead lap. Ryan O'Donoghue still battling Chuck Sweeting at the front, and Hey Lewis Hayes says, "Hey, you boys keep going back there. You guys keep fighting, right?"
That's exactly what Lewis Hayes is thinking at the moment. Chuck Sweetie, despite being on an older set, he's doing the same thing he did last stage. He's actually able to hang on to these set of tires at the moment and keep Brian O'Donoghue pinned to that bottom and not let him get the run and clear him to try to chase down, Lewis Hayes for the lead here. Meanwhile, a little bit further back behind them, Paul Witt and Austin Hunn, they went side by side, but Paul Witt able to get to position, and they go single file coming to turn number 2.
They do. The battle is at the front. Hey Lewis Hayes has the lead. Chuck Sweeting and Ryan O'Donoghue are engaged in a minor dispute over who is going to be second, and they are catching Hayes all at the same time. Normally when you see 2 trucks running side by side like that, it means that the front truck is able to run faster because those 2 aren't able to run the line that they would wish. However, they both have fresher tires than Lewis Hayes, and so even though they're side by side, they're faster. Ryan O'Donoghue gets past Sweeting and immediately drops to the bottom of the 43. Ryan O'Donoghue makes a bid for the lead, and here comes Paul Witt to challenge Chuck Sweeting. He did not get up next to Hey Lewis Hayes, and I think we're seeing a pattern here, Caleb. If you get to the top side, you may not be faster, but you can hold the truck that's on the bottom to the bottom, and not letting them have all the real estate they want coming off at turns 2 and 4 means that you can absolutely keep up or keep pace with them. But O'Donoghue is going to clear. Here comes Paul Witt in the second. I thought he was going to get in the back of Ryan O'Donoghue there for a second, Caleb.
Yeah, we got very, very close indeed. I see in the background Logan Edwards tapping the wall again. That's not his first incident with a turn 4 wall, but he's able to continue forward. No damage, no harm, no foul. Matt Silzer is pursuing him behind. Ryan O'Donoghue and Paul Witt, meanwhile, they briefly got fender side by side with each other coming off turn number 2. Chuck Sweetie looks to the inside of Lewis Hayes right behind them. Chuck not able to clear Lewis Hayes on the high side. They're going to go side by side down the front stretch.
They are. Austin Hunt is going to have a great view of this action. Here's Austin Hunt. You're driving along at 175 miles an hour, and this is what you see out of your. This is what you see to the outside of Austin Hunt. He got checked up. There goes Logan Edwards.
Not ideal for Austin Hunt, losing a couple positions there, trying to make a move. Logan Edwards able to go around, and now Matt Sizzler looks like he wants a piece of this action. Matt Sizzler kind of being patient at the beginning of stage number 3 here. He hasn't really shown any fenders yet. He kind of looks to the outside of Austin Hunt, but kind of slots back inside. He has a run, though, coming off turn number 2.
He does have that run coming off at turn number 2. Logan Edwards is 5th, and he is all over the back. All over the back now, say hey Lewis Hayes. And Edwards is kind of the lead group of that Hunt, Sizzler, Edwards trio that are chasing the championship. Now that Kendall Paul has gone by the wayside, they want to make up as many points as they can. Tonight, great opportunity to do it. Kendall Paul still on the pit lane. He will be credited with 24th. Logan Edwards, he'll go to 4th. Meanwhile, at the front, Paul Witt and Ryan O'Donoghue, they look like one truck coming down the back straightaway there, Caleb.
They do indeed. Paul Witt, he's trying to get around O'Donoghue, but not able to quite get alongside. O'Donoghue just defending the right lines at the moment. Paul Witt, again, looking to the high side, going through 1 and 2. He has a momentum, but not able to get a fender to get alongside him. Do briefly want to mention that Ryan O'Donoghue, he's led the majority of this race. He has won a race this season back in Bristol, but the guy right behind him, Paul Witt, 50 starts in the Truck Series, still has not won a race here yet. So will this be Paul Witt's first career victory here in the AMA Truck Series?
You know, that's a good question. Paul Witt's been around the AMA for a very long time. I raced against him here a couple of years ago. He is a very, very strong competitor, is Paul Witt. Very fast. He's got the sponsorship from Admin Box on the side of that truck. He's got affiliations with both the Dark Horse team with Kendall Paul and the Black Magic Studios team of David Dunwoody. That's a good-looking truck. He's a very, very, very good driver. He was always near the front when I raced him, and he's showing why here tonight. All over the back of Ryan O'Donoghue. Meanwhile, we're fixing to have a battle for 3rd. Logan Edwards, the old narc brain, has caught Chuck Sweeting, and I think those tires, 15 laps in, and they had some laps on them before, Caleb. They're about to start showing up. Logan Edwards tries to move the low side off of 2, but it's just a matter of time. Here he goes into turn 3.
He sends it on the bottom. Chuck Sweeting actually yields a lot going through 3 and 4. Logan able to easily clear him. That allows Austin Hunt to make a move on the bottom. Chuck Sweeting on the high side. Logan goes to the apron. Doesn't allow either one of them to get drafted. Matt Sizzler looking right behind him, trying to also get position there. He's to the inside of Sweeting now. Austin Hunt able to get around up the inside of Chuck Sweeting. They all go single file going down the backstretch, but Matt Sizzler sends it in deep going to turn number 3.
He does, and you kind of figured once Chuck Sweeting, once they started to get by Chuck Sweeting, the conga line was just going to start forming to the left. The good is gone from the tires on the Chuck Sweeting machine, and because of that, those trucks they should be able, in theory, to pass him with relative ease, but he's hanging tough against Matt Sizzler for that 5th spot. Sizzler can't quite get it done as Logan Edwards and Austin Hunt disappear off into the distance.
Yeah, they're pulling away from the group behind him. And meanwhile, I also want to, give a little bit of shout out to Sean Roberts. He is also on that Chuck Sweeting strategy of slightly older tires, and he's able to make these things work just like the guy right in front of him, Chuck Sweeting, in that number 75 truck. So it seems like the tires, even though they're on slightly older set, into the wall Chuck Sweeting goes, but the slightly older set is not that far off in pace.
You know, I just looked at that. I think Sean Roberts did change his. It's Lewis Hayes that's on the older tires in 8th spot, and if you look up in the mirror, you can see there's quite a gap back to Lewis Hayes. The problem for Roberts is I think he's faster than both these trucks. He just has no way to get around them. There's no line to go to as we ride on board in the helmet of Sean Roberts, and now finally Matt Sisler completes the pass. And immediately Sean Roberts is going to dive to the bottom.
He dives to the bottom and immediately clears Chuck Sweetie on the inside there. He's able to slot himself up into the top 5, or not the top 5, just outside of the top 5 into 6th place. Matt Sisler up into the top 5 there. And it's kind of all spreading out. This is the first time we've kind of seen this field spread out the entire night here.
It is. We're going to reset it for you. Ryan O'Donohue leads it from that man, Paul Witt. The front two, they are 1.2 seconds ahead of this battle. It's Logan Edwards, the old narc brain, runs 3rd. Austin Hunn 4th. They've got a bit of a gap back, about 10 truck lengths to Matt Sisler, Sean Roberts, and Chuck Sweeting. That was the battle we were just watching. They are about a second ahead of 8th place running Lewis Hayes. 9th place, James Hodgson in the forward-facing 88, and 10th, Shane Fleming. And then you got about another 10 truck lengths back to Andrew Gates. Gates has had a very quiet, very efficient night. He's 11th. Ted Craven is 12th. Ted Craven, also a very quiet, very efficient night. They've got Sam Crow with him. Sam Crow is back to 5 laps down. He is all after that early altercation. The other thing that I want to say about Sam Crow is he has made up 9 spots by doing that. He's made up 9 spots. And so Sam Crow continues along, soldiers on, and if something else happens, there's another accident, Sam Crow has a chance to gain some more positions, and he's in that title discussion as well, Caleb. Sam Crow is 8th in points, so he needs to continue to gain as many positions as he can. Sam Crow runs along in 18th. Behind these cars, it's Jeremy Dunwoody. He's by himself in 13th. David Dunwoody, after that spin, running quicker than the leader, but David Dunwoody is 14th, about half a lap behind. He's catching in Matt Wagner there. Wagner is a lap 16th. Jeffrey Goodpaster, the final truck on the lead lap in the 34, and Goodpaster is in danger of going a lap down to the Ryan O'Donohue-Paul Witt duo. Matter of fact, that's the distance between Jeffrey Goodpaster and Ryan O'Donohue.
Yeah, that gap is getting ever so slightly closer every lap, and Goodpaster riding the wall here in clean air. That's a little bit of a unique line we really haven't seen. I think he's just trying to let O'Donohue know to just take the bottom as soon as possible, and immediately as we say it, O'Donohue gets around the lap car of Goodpaster, able to get around him nice and smooth and cleanly. We'll see how the rest of the field does, but I think Goodpaster just kind of riding the wall at the moment, just try to get out of the way of the lead group here.
He is, and that's good sportsmanship, and that's what you want, right? If you're the leaders, that guy's not going to fight me. He's just going to get up on the wall and let everybody go. Jeffrey Goodpaster has about a half a lap back to Matt Wagner, who would be the next truck. In line, so no worries about losing a position here. But what all this has done, while we were going through the field there, Logan Edwards caught Paul Witt. So we're and brought Austin Hunt with him. We're about ready to have a battle for second here, Caleb.
We are indeed. Logan Edwards has Austin Hunt to his inside. Austin trying to get a run down the front stretch. Getting very, very close as they went through the tri-oval. Austin Hunt sends it deep going into turn number 1, but not able to quite clear Logan Edwards. Oh, I thought they were going to go 3 wide, but Austin Hunt makes it 2 for 1.
Well, I was going to say Austin Hunt gets 2 for the price of 1. He gets around both, and Logan Edwards, I think, got blocked up a little bit by the dirty air from Paul Witt. He actually pulled the old over-under move right there, and he'll Brazilian clear for Logan Edwards, but he pulled the over-under to get that done, and now Paul Witt is going to have to deal with Matt Sizzler, and you got to wonder if Paul Witt just kind of ran the tires off that 29 truck with 25 laps to go.
I imagine so, and he's lost another position to Matt Sizzler there. Sean Roberts is right behind him. Roberts is going to send it on the inside of Paul Witt. His tires are probably fried at the moment. Meanwhile, Logan Edwards, he did get passed by Austin Hunt, but he is still on the rear bumper of that number 15 machine. So Logan's still showing some life in his tires, even though he got passed by Austin Hunt. But it looks like both of them, the duo of them, Hunt and Edwards, are pulling away just a little bit from Matt Sizzler and the rest of the guys behind them.
Yeah, they've built about a half a second advantage over Sizzler and Roberts. Sizzler, Roberts, and Witt. Sizzler himself has driven away by about half a second. So half a second between Edwards and Sizzler, half a second between Sizzler and Roberts. You got to wonder at some point if Logan Edwards is going to make a charge after Austin Hunt, and I think he will. But I also think Logan Edwards is one of the more cerebral drivers that I've ever had the privilege of racing against. I think he might be looking at the relative and saying, now, wait a minute. Austin Hunt and I are catching Ryan O'Donoghue. They've cut 2/10 of a second 2 laps ago. They were a 10th faster that last time through. Is Logan Edwards looking, and Jeffrey Goodpaster with a meatball, he's going to have to answer that and come to pit lane. That'll promote Matt Wagner, Cole McElwain, and perhaps Sam Crow up a position. Andrew Gates has retired his truck, so too has Donald Green, and so they'll be credited with 18th and 19th at the end of the day. But my point being, is Logan looking at the relative going, hey, we're reeling this guy in. I don't want to start battling Hunt and rock the boat.
Yeah, that's just not only going to cost you time, it's going to cost you your tires as well. You know the two of them are faster than Ryan O'Donoghue at the moment, just by a little bit. Last time around, actually, they were slower than O'Donoghue. Well, they did about the same lap time. They were both doing 31.8s last time around, as well as Matt Sizzler and Sean Roberts. So the top 5 are all doing 31.8s last time around. But they just know if they start battling right now with 20 laps to go in the race here, that's just going to not only cost them time, it's going to cost them whatever tire life they have left. So they're playing it very, very smart, just trying to get ever so slightly closer to Ryan O'Donoghue in front. And they gained about a half a tenth there last time around.
They did last time through. Ryan O'Donoghue 8:31.865 and 8:10 for Hunt and 8:26 for Logan Edwards, 8:85 for Matt Sizzler. So they are simultaneously catching Ryan O'Donoghue. It's down to about 1.1 seconds. That was a second and a half not too long ago. Ever so slightly catching O'Donoghue, ever so slightly pulling away from Matt Sizzler is the duo of Hunt and Edwards. 8:72 for O'Donoghue, 8:17 for Hunt, 9:26 for Edwards the last time through. And now, so Hunt has started to, Austin Hunt has now started to drop Logan Edwards as well. Can they get to O'Donoghue in the next 17 laps? And it's not just a matter of getting to him, Caleb. They get to him, can they do anything with it?
Yeah, the closer they get, the more they're going to feel that dirty air. Ryan O'Donoghue leading basically the entirety of this race, apart from a couple laps when David Dunwoody took over the end of stage number 2. So Ryan O'Donoghue has been putting on a clinic here tonight, leading the majority of this race and just kind of setting the tone for the entire night. And Austin Hunt and Logan Edwards, well, they're pushing as hard as they can, but they're trying to be smart. And last time around, Austin Hunt was actually 2/10 slower than O'Donoghue.
Makes you kind of wonder, Caleb, was Ryan O'Donoghue just kind of toying with him, playing with him a little bit, saying, okay, I'll see what you guys are kind of capable of. I'll save my stuff a little bit. And then once you get within a certain range, and in this case that was about a second, he just said, okay, playtime's over, and started driving off again. That's widened the gap back to 1.2 seconds to Hund. Logan Edwards has started now to fall into the clutches of Matt Sisler. He had been as much as 3/4 of a second ahead of Matt Sisler, but Logan Edwards now has dropped back to within 5 to 10 car lengths of Sisler as they work past the lap car. That is the 95 machine of Cole McElway.
Yeah, Cole going another lap down there. And he was running very, very strong early on in the stage. He got caught up in that incident earlier, and unfortunately he's going to have to go another lap down here. And he's running in the top 15 still, so it's not that bad of a night for him. But we just know it could have been a lot better considering he started from third and he was battling inside the top 5 basically the entire night.
It could have been. About the best battle on the track is this one. Shane Fleming and the forward-facing 88 of James Hodgson. They are 8th and 9th. They are really the only two cars that are in close contact for a position around the Nashville Superspeedway as we close in on 12 laps to go. Fleming in the number 90, James Hodgson in the 88.
Yeah, Fleming pulling a little bit further away. They got Sam Crow right behind him, but he's multiple laps down. So Sam Crow's just going to be patient, just kind of watch these two battle it out right in front of him. The only other battle on track that I see is kind of Ted Craven and Say Hey Lewis Hayes for a top 10 position in the race, but they're about half a second difference now last time around. So this is effectively the best battle on circuit between Shane Fleming and James Hodgson for the 8th place position.
They've got Sam Crow with them. Crow has made up a remarkable 5 laps. He will not make up any more because there are now lap cars ahead of him. But that's pretty remarkable in and of itself. He's also gained 10 spots from where he started by staying out, and those are 10 valuable points when it comes time to talking about a championship. Fleming is catching Chuck Sweeting ahead of him. That's about 0.6 of a second. Hodgson does not appear as though he's going to make a move, and we are now under 11 laps to go. 10 to go up on the board for that man, Ryan O'Donoghue, and he's doing just as his teammate Greg Evans did last night. He waited until the end. He pounced, got the lead, drove just as hard as he needed to, and started to easily just kind of draw off into the night as we got close to time to pay the money.
Yeah, and I kind of noticed that with him last night here. He kind of had a really late run pace over everybody else. He was kind of sitting there at the beginning. Initially at the beginning, he was kind of dropping back. Middle stage, he kind of dropped back. Sometimes he stayed put, and then all of a sudden, it seemed like the last 10 laps of a stint, he would just turn it up to 11 and able to just set incredible lap times that were significantly faster than the rest of the field. He's not that much faster than everybody else at the moment. He's doing about the same lap times as the cars behind him, but he is that gap was closing down from Austin Hunt and Logan Edwards, but now he's turned it up to 11 here. He's able to use the rest of the tire life that he has and able to set a lap time that's at least equal to the cars behind him.
Yes, they have. We continue along. Ryan O'Donoghue leads it. There really aren't any fights for position that are available on the racetrack. David Dunwoody has made it back up to 11th. He just passed his brother Jeremy, and he is closing in on Ted Craven, and that would be remarkable. David Dunwoody with a shot to finish in the top 10 here after he spun that car as the 34, Jeffrey Goodpacer, smacks the wall. That would be remarkable for David Dunwoody because he was 18th when he came back onto the racing surface.
He would indeed. He's got his brother Jeremy right behind him, and he's trying to get around the lap car, Jeffrey Goodpacer. He's not doing anything wrong, but he is kind of getting held up at the moment. That is Ted Craven also right in front of him. So this is actually the best battle on track. Ted Craven and the two Dunwoodies battling for a position inside the top 10 here.
David Dunwoody has now made it past Ted Craven, and so moved David Dunwoody back into the 10th spot, and I don't think he's going to get any higher than that. James Hodgson is 11 seconds up the road, but still a remarkable drive and a remarkable recovery after that spin for David Dunwoody to get back into the top 10. But right now, it's all about this man, Ryan O'Donoghue. He has about a second lead over Austin Hund. It's another half a second back to Logan Edwards, and then 0.8 to Matt Sisler. They are 1, 2, 3, 4. Sean Roberts is 5th. Chuck Sweeting, well, he's going to ride the old rubber to 6th, it looks like, although Paul Witt is right behind him. Sweeting has made it past Witt on merit, and so and is running just a little bit better lap times, and so he's drawing away from Witt. Shane Fleming, is catching Paul Witt, although it appears as though he may run out of time. So too is James Hodgson. But those two have been in lockstep for about the last 25 laps. I don't foresee a challenge from them. And we'll go back to Ryan O'Donoghue. Austin Hund has moved in a couple of tenths, but he's got 0.8 of a second to make. He's got 2 laps to do it, and unless Ryan O'Donoghue has a problem, that is more or less not going to happen.
Yeah, a little bit too farther back, even though the two cars behind O'Donoghue are faster at the moment by about a tenth or so. They only got about 1.3 miles to make anything happen. Although Austin Hunt has a really good run out of turn number 4, he's actually kind of half that gap at the moment. About 0.3 of a second difference there for Austin Hunt, but I think he's just a little bit too far back at the moment to try and make anything work. Ryan O'Donoghue, he led the majority of this race. He comes off turn number 4. He's going to win here at Nashville Superspeedway, get his second win of the season, and able to take a massive points overhaul the rest of the top 5 in the championship.
He is. Ryan O'Donoghue comes through. He will take the checkered flag at Nashville, and Ryan O'Donoghue is going to grab our Rogue Energy winning moment in that number 14 machine. Let's see if he's improved his donut game. Caleb, has he learned to twist the brake bias knob toward the front? Has Greg Evans been giving him lessons? Because Greg just popped in the chat.
Possibly, but we'll have to see. He's going to have to celebrate with Sam Crow here. But Ryan O'Donoghue, very, very, very impressive night from him. It looks like he's just going to do a Polish victory lap here, go backwards around the track. But Ryan O'Donoghue able to get his second win of the season. And we talked with him earlier, right before he got that Bristol win. What is it going to take for you to finally get a win this season? He did get that win at Bristol, and it just seemed like to be the same story. He's had a lot of great runs and just not able to capitalize. Well, this time he puts on one of the most dominating performances we've seen all season and able to get the win here tonight here in Nashville.
Well, I'll tell you what. That is your Rogue Energy winning moment for Ryan O'Donohue. He's doing the donuts. We'll have to get a score for a score from Greg Evans in the chat. If you go to rogueenergy.com and use promo code AMA24, you can get 10% off of your order. For the win, it's Ryan O'Donohue, Austin Hunn second, Logan Edwards will finish third, Matt Sisler fourth, Sean Roberts a fine top five after a long string of bad luck. That'll be fifth. Chuck Sweeting, Paul Witt, Shane Fleming, James Hodson in the Ford-facing 88, and David Dunwoody claws his way back to 10th. He's in the chat. He says he spun himself out with a brake bias, and that's gonna be gut-wrenching for him because he was fast all night. Jeremy Dunwoody, 11th. Ted Craven, 12th. Say Lewis Hayes, 13th. Cole McElwain, 14th. Jeffrey Goodpaster is classified 15th. Sam Crow drove it all the way back to 16th spot. Matt Wagner, 17th. Andrew Gates is 18th. Donald Green, 19th. And Owen Simkovic is 20th. 21st. Mike Rigney, Jim Duda, 22nd. Joseph Greathouse, 23rd. Kendall Paul, 24th. He'll take a big championship hit with that finish. John Hutchins, 25th. Christopher, 26th. And Randy Dunlap will round out the field. Shotgun and last, 27th for Randy Dunlap. All right, we'll get the results out of here. We'll get some replays queued up, and let's check the waiting room. We've got the old narc brain, Logan Edwards. Logan, you've got Murph. You've got Caleb Brashear in the P1 broadcasting booth. You hear us?
Yeah, I got you.
You do indeed. You do indeed. Caleb just messaged me and said, don't drag Logan in just yet. So, of course, what do? I drag you in. My apologies. Talk to us about your night, my friend, or do you need a minute?
Oh, no, I managed to get done where I needed to get done.
Very good. So,
you know.
Yeah, no, I've been there and done that. I know exactly what you're where you're needing to go. So talk to us about your night. You and Austin Hund and Matt Sisler, if you weren't too wide, you were 3 wide for most of the night. How did you wind up finally settling that score?
Just hoping and praying that the car would stick whenever it needed to, which sometimes it did, sometimes it didn't. I would notice that if you were above the first 2 grooves, you were basically just an understeer machine and couldn't do anything. So you could use that to your advantage. So some people would give extra room and end up in that 3rd lane. You could go in the middle of them, which was pretty fun to do. Other than that, it was Nashville, huge tire save race with aero sensitivity from the cars behind. I saw several people get tight or get loose from having a car on their quarter panel. Other than that, good night for points. I finished ahead of everybody who was ahead of me in points, so that's good.
Well, I guess I'll ask my question because I think Murphy is dying of a cold right now. But
iced tea went down the wrong pipe.
So I'll get my question out of the way. But so let's talk a little bit about this championship here. Kendall Paul had a big accident earlier on in the race. Championship leader. You managed to finish 1 position over Sisler. You and him have been going at it over the past couple of races, having really good battles. Ryan O'Donohue slots in, able to get another win here. Meanwhile, you're still looking to find your first win of the season, but you're able to be very, very consistent. And what do you have to do, anything different, to try to get over these guys besides just outright beat them on track?
I got to qualify better. Dover and one of the rounds before Dover, I don't remember. Let me look at the points.
It was Watkins Glen.
Oh, Dover and Charlotte, actually. Dover and Charlotte, I qualified poorly and barely got any stage points, and that's really where my opponents are pulling away right now. I'm about even with them on normal season points, but recently I've just been lacking in stage points. But really that and know your battles. Some people I don't need to beat every day, just a handful of people.
That's the name of the game in points racing. It's not necessarily where you finish. It's where you finish against the people you're racing against. And so, always good to take note. You're racing against Kendall, Sizzler, O'Donohue, and Hund. It doesn't really matter what anybody else is doing, and race accordingly, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So, with that said, you've endured being pulled up too early and me choking to death on a glass of iced tea. With that said, Logan, congratulations on your on your top three run. You've been up here enough. You know what to do next.
Oh yeah. Thanks to TMI 5G. I've been doing a lot of work on Detroit with some of the fellas. Shout out to Caleb. Got a good result with the setup earlier, which made me pretty happy.
200 points on a road course. Let's go!
Yeah, nice to see somebody. Like, it's nice to do good in your own equipment, but it's extra ego boost to see your teammate do well on your equipment. So,
Yes,
there's that. Shout out to the skunk works at i5G for all the work they've been doing. Shout out to P1 Broadcasting for putting the show on, and the league admins for running the whole thing. That's about it.
Indeed, indeed. Well, thank you so much for stopping in and saying hello, Logan. Keep going fast and having fun. We'll see you at the next one. See you tomorrow, probably, right?
Yeah, I'll be running IS.
There you go. You can see Logan 2:00 tomorrow, right here on P1. We'll get him back in the waiting room. We'll bring in Austin Hund. Austin, you've got Murph, you've got Caleb Brashear in the P1 broadcasting booth. You hear us?
Yes, sir. I got you.
So the advantage of finishing second is that you don't get pulled into the replay booth or into the broadcasting booth before you've had a chance to take care of your post-race activities, right? So with that said, now that you've had a chance to simmer down, and I'm going to ask you the same question. You and Logan and Sizzler, Paul Witt, and there were a couple of others, were 2x2x2 for most of that race. If you weren't 2x2, you were 3x2x2. That was a hornet's nest that didn't die for about 110 laps. How did you guys finally break free of that?
I just tried taking it easy. Like, I tried keeping my position, but also taking it easy at the same time. That way, in the long run, it would pay off, and I think it kind of did there.
Indeed, indeed. Caleb, what do you have? What do you have for Mr. Austin Hund this evening?
Well, I did briefly get an answer from Logan, but I wanted your opinion on it. Last night in the Grand National race, it really didn't seem like the high side worked at all. Whereas tonight, it seemed like to be a split difference. I wanted to know what your opinion on is, like what the better line was, how you were able to overtake people around here.
It was a little bit of a mixed bag. I mean, I feel like, first couple laps, the bottom was going to prevail, and then kind of middle of the run, the top would go. You could get around somebody on the top, and then, longer in the run, as long as you still had a right front, you could get around them on the bottom again. So I think you just had to kind of bounce back and forth depending on the situation.
There you go. Thank you so much for stopping in, Austin. Heck of a run up to second. Do you think you had anything for O'Donohue? You were catching him at one point, or was it just not enough in the tank tonight to get there?
I think I started to go a little bit too early. I think if I would have waited another 10 laps to really start going, maybe. But who knows?
Who knows indeed. Well, you know what happens next. Friends, family, sponsor, shout-outs. You've got the mic, my man. Go ahead.
First off, the wife for letting me sit down and do it, holding down the fort the whole time, and then my group at 4D Racewear for hanging out with me and having a good time.
100%. Well, we appreciate Jim, and we appreciate everybody over there at 4D Racewear too. Keep going fast and having fun, buddy. We'll see you at the next one.
Thanks, sir. You'll have a good one.
Absolutely. That's Austin Hund. And for the man of the hour, we're going to bring in Ryan O'Donohue. Ryan, you've got Murph, you've got Caleb Brashear in the P1 broadcasting booth. You led 128 laps tonight of the 150. Dominant performance. When you looked up with about 25 to go and you saw Austin Hund and Logan Edwards catching you, was that a strategy call on your part to just kind of drive to a pace, or was it they were just going and wearing out their stuff?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure. I did see them all kind of stacked up there for a little bit. I knew that was helping. Throughout the whole race, it was the pace kind of we set in the first stage was very very reserved, I think, and I had Mike right there with me, and just kind of did the Greg Evans thing, right? Like set a pace, and we looked at tire wear after that first stop, and it wasn't too bad, and knew we could push a little bit harder, and it didn't get much worse, right? And clean air, I think the race was for clean air all night. That was huge. Just hit my marks all night. That we got to the third stage, and yeah, I mean, a couple guys had a strategy there where they saved a set, but I mean, we only used the two of them anyway, and we knew we could make it on fuel. So I think it was just get a little bit of a lead and run, a little bit more pace. And I think we were able to just hit our marks and hold on to it. I saw the guys behind us kind of racing a little bit, and I think Austin was looking for that clean air too at the beginning of the stage, but that was the hardest I really had to fight. And I saw him drop off. I think he started to save a little bit, and I knew they were coming back to me. I tried really hard tonight just to not look in the mirror as much as I could and not look at the relative. And I think it worked out. This was a big one for me. I don't think we've ever run that kind of dominant of a race and just be the leader and lead that many laps. And I think we got 10-9 on stages and I got the win. So I knew he was coming back to me. I had a little conversation with myself there at the end of the race. Just don't overdo it here. Don't start thinking about anything. Don't think about a yellow. Just hit your marks. And I gave up. I gave up almost that whole second there, and he got to me at the line. But that was definitely backing out. I still knew I had, at the end of those first two stages, I still had a little bit left as far as using a little more brake and cranking down the brake bias, and I could drive it in there still. So I was comfortable. I felt really good tonight. That was big.
For the hard-hitting questions, the things that everybody wants to know, I'm going to turn into my much more capable broadcast partner, Caleb Brashear. Caleb?
Much more capable broadcasting partner. We'll have a debate over that after this is done. But you already got asked the first question. This is your second win of the season, so I'll ask the backup question here. What is your go-to cereal?
I have a follow-up question after you're done answering this. So,
cereal. I haven't had a lot of cereal lately, but I was like picking the Lucky Charms marshmallows out of the box. And
you and my youngest son, O'Donohue, he'll pour a bowl of Lucky Charms and eat only the marshmallows.
Or just a general. I'll do like just the Frosted Flakes with some strawberries on there. That's a good one too.
There you go. My final question is, what is your favorite kind of cookie?
Oh, I like a good peanut butter cookie.
Peanut butter?
Yeah, I don't know. Someone from work here brought in a batch of peanut butter cookies that his wife made the other day, and that was a good breakfast. I'll say that.
They demolished those, huh?
Yeah.
I'll tell you a funny story real quick. So when I was in college, Natalie and I just met, and she made cookies. She brought over the Sigma Newhouse. Those round like hat box looking things you put cookies in?
Oh yeah.
She had 3 of those full of chocolate chip cookies. She came in, she set the cookies down in the kitchen, came up to my room on the 3rd floor to get me. By the time I had made, mind you, nobody was at home. Like there was nobody in the common areas. Right? She came up to the 3rd floor, got me. I came back downstairs, and every single one of those cookies were gone in 2 minutes. They ate them all, and for the 25 years later, she will show up at a gathering with me, and guys will ask her to bring cookies.
See, I like those the one around tin can there, where you're never really sure if there's a sewing kit in there, if there's cookies. But I'll Bridget will get a tin of those every once in a while, and they disappear pretty quick in this house.
There you go, man. Well, I tell you what, heck of a run tonight. It was dominant, 128 of 150 laps led. You pulled away when it mattered the most. It was very reminiscent of last night with Greg. You know what comes next. Friends, family, sponsors. Shout them out, my man.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Feels good to have a run like that. Big sigh of relief. I think we had a couple rough weeks, and again, like I usually say, sometimes it's my fault and sometimes it's not, right? And we bounced right back here and we tightened up the points. And but girlfriend, as always, she was sitting behind me. She made some pit calls tonight, man, that I was thinking about coming in before, at the end of those, or the end of the stages with the cautions coming out, and she's like, no, absolutely not. And so that helped a lot. DVD Motorsports, all my guys, got another one for John. Throughout the weekend, so definitely, we're teammates now, but still just feeding off of Greg and learning a lot of what he does. And that was my big thing tonight, was just hitting marks and just being patient. And I think we'll try and get back to doing that. Like I said, got another one for John Viverelis, and thinking of Charles too. And I had some health issues, and always thinking of those guys and all my teammates, Greg and Lewis. I know he had a good run tonight. He had a strategy call that could have worked if we got a yellow there. Sam got caught up in something. Rigney had some speed. We locked out the front row there, and all the guys that didn't make tonight and ran last night. We're a good group of guys, and it's been a lot of fun racing with them. High Torque New York still in a car. Anthony Knighton, Masters of Supply, Heatwave Visual, 80K Karting, Sim Magic, Sim Shop, AMA, Kendale, all the admins. And speaking of Kendale, I wrecked the dog food out of him last night, and I feel terrible. I did send him a message, and I just, I hate, Kendale and I always race clean, so I just, say it out loud to everybody listening here. All the admins that do everything. Archway Industrial Coatings, Outland Custom Arms, Black Magic Studios, Track Racer, Rogue Energy, Admin Box, and you guys put on a heck of a show. P1 Broadcasting does it right, and look forward to watching this back. Hope everybody else liked it.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much for stopping by, Ryan. Congratulations on another trophy. Keep going fast and having fun, buddy. We'll see you at the next one.
Yes, sir. Thank you, guys.
Absolutely. That is Ryan O'Donohue. He's tonight's winner. And Caleb, this one was a little bit more exciting than last night. We had a lot more battling through the field, and unlike the Grand National cars, these things could go 2x2x2 and even 3x3 if needed.
Yeah, that was most certainly the case. We saw a lot of great battles, especially, just inside the top 10 and even inside the top 5 throughout the entirety of this race. A lot of great side-by-side battles, a lot of three-wide moments, which, I kind of wasn't expecting. I knew going into the night that it was going to be a lot closer racing than what we saw in the Grand National Series last night, just based on how the truck handling characteristics are. But I was not expecting a lot of those to be 3-wide, even 4-wide moments coming off turns number 2, turn number 4, multiple times. But absolutely incredible racing from these guys, and that's one of the reasons why, I really like, commentating this league. It's just a really fun league to be around, and really, you see some really, really great racing from these guys.
You do see a lot of really great racing from these guys, and that great racing is going to continue right here on the P1 Broadcasting Channel. We got a full lineup coming your way. Even though we're headed toward the summer break, when a lot of leagues kind of take some time off, we're not quite there yet. Tomorrow, it's the 2026 iRacing IndyCar Series presented by 40 Racewear. 2 o'clock Eastern Standard. It'll be the Detroit Belle Isle Grand Prix right here on P1. Sunday, the Dark Horse DW12 Series, also presented by 40 Racewear. 8 o'clock, that'll be from Homestead, the DW12s. I get to trade the microphone for a steering wheel in that one. I'm kind of pumped up, Caleb. I haven't been behind the wheel in a while. Monday, it's Championship Monday, the IndyCar Open Series goes to Gateway at 8. The Indy Next Road Series will do Brands Hatch at 10. Tuesday, it's a triple header. The IndyCar Oval Series will have their finale at Auto Club. The Indy Next Oval Series at 9:30. At 8:15, the Indy Next Oval Series happens at 9:30 from Gateway, and the finale for the Area 51 IndyCar Series, 9:30 Eastern Standard Time. Join Andrew Wood and I for 500 kilometers at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Next Thursday, the Grand National Series is off. Luis Gonzalez Nunez will bring you the 2026 A season Elite Racing League Indy Lights Series. Races number 3 and 4. That's going to be at 7:45 on Thursday. Friday night, we'll be right back here for the AMA Archway Industrial Coatings Truck Series 8:20 pre-race, 8:35 start live from the Michigan Speedway. And Caleb, that's going to be a wild good time. We do want to thank everybody for joining in tonight, the fans in the stands, the drivers on the track, but most of all, we want to thank the people that really make it possible: the military, the police, the firemen, the EMTs driving the ambulance, and the nurse that unloads you when you get there. From the bottom of our hearts, we thank you all. Have a great night, everybody. We'll see you tomorrow for the Detroit Grand Prix right here on P1.